friends, it's Mitzi. Welcome back to our tarot tutorial. Today we're going to be discussing the suit of cups. The suit of cups represents emotions, creativity, all things involving feelings, best represented by the signs of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So let's get to it. Ace of Cups. When you have the Ace of Cups in a reading, you have an opportunity for emotional growth, fulfillment, and to let your creative juices flow. Aces are such good cards. Reverse, it means that you might feel a little blocked, creatively speaking, or your emotions might feel a little blocked, but it isn't anything you can't move from. Two of Cups speaks of emotional partnerships. This could be partnerships in business, relationships with your siblings. Anytime you see Two of Cups, you have a card of harmony, of love, of trust, of free-flowing emotions that are built on reciprocity. Reverse, there might be some disharmony in the relationship, and you probably should have some conversations about it. Three of Cups is a card that speaks of victories, successes. See how the three ladies in the cards are celebrating and they're drinking. It's like a girls' night out kind of a thing. That feeling that you get when you've completed something and you feel victorious and you want to celebrate. That would be the Three of Cups. Reverse simply means that you aren't there yet. There's still one more step that you need to take before you can celebrate. Four of Cups is a card I love because it's a card of opportunity. It's a card of thinking you've got enough and you don't need any more. And so see how in this card they're offering him more feelings, like, and he's like, no, I've got what I need. But sometimes we need to be reminded that even though it seems like we have what we need, we don't, and we could always use the extra help. So take the extra cup, dude. Reversed, it means that we're feeling emotionally selfish and we're not quite ready to give of ourselves yet. And this doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes we need to put up boundaries to protect ourselves emotionally and mentally and spiritually. So the actual, I would say, full context of that emotional selfishness depends on the cards that surround this one. The Five of Cups speaks of depression and grief and sorrow and not being able to see the possibilities of what's coming tomorrow, right? You can see that he's got his spilled cups and he isn't even thinking about, and he isn't even looking up. He isn't looking forward. He's thinking, this is it. This is it for me. But when this card comes up, that's not necessarily the case, you know? And so this card is asking you to not drown yourself in your sorrow so much that you don't see the positivity and the goodness that's also before you. Reverse, this could mean one of two things. It could mean you're so deep in your sorrow that you are unable to move on, that you are in such deep amounts of pain that it is hard for you to breathe. Or it could mean that you're moving forward, that you are getting over this hump. Again, what definition it takes largely depends on the rest of the spread. Six of Cups is a card that speaks of nostalgia. It speaks of remembering the past in a nostalgic, fond way. Sometimes this card comes up when we're feeling stressed out in our present day, and so we like to fantasize of how things used to be, and oh, if things could just go back to how they used to be, that would be so much better. And it's okay to have that fantasy from time to time, but having too much of that fantasy means that you aren't living in the present. But overall, it's a beautiful card. It's a card of nostalgia, right? And it's good to remember those things that shaped us. Reversed, it means that you are either spending too much time in your nostalgic fantasy, or that you are not being generous with the people around you. You're not giving of yourself. So, be cautious. Again, it all largely depends on the spread next to it. Seven of Cups is a card of illusions, fantasies. It's very Neptunian. This is a very Neptunian card, very Piscean card. It's a card of I am just going to fantasize about all the things and all the ways that my life could be better. And I'm going to strive to achieve those fantasies and make them a reality. But instead of taking the steps to making that the case, you sort of get sucked into your own illusions. And then now you're struggling with self deception and self delusion, right? So it's okay to have fantasies. It's okay to have daydreams. It's okay to dream and all those things, but it's not okay if all of a sudden those dreams get in the way of you living your day to day. Reverse, that means that you're now in complete self delusion mode, and you're not living your true day to day. So be careful. Eight of Cups is a card that comes up when people are ready to emotionally let go of things that were keeping them down, right? But just make sure that when you walk away, that you are walking away for all the right reasons and not because, you're spiting somebody or because you're giving up or because you're surrendering. Make sure that when you walk away from something that's not emotionally satisfying to you, that it is because it's for your greater good. And that's what Eight of Cups shows. Eight of Cups shows that this is a person that was in a situation and they didn't like it. And they said, I'm willing to walk away from this because I know that there's something better around the bend. Right? There's something better out here and I'm going to go get it. And so that spirit is something you should strive for. But again, make sure you're striving for it for the right reasons. Reverse, this could mean that you are literally drowning in all the wrong reasons why you want to stay in a situation that does you no good. And so now it's time to evaluate if and how you're going to walk away and if you're going to need help and support to do that or if you can do it alone. Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment and contentment and joy. And if you notice, he's happy. He's worked really hard. He went through lots of trials and tribulations to get to the point where he feels emotionally satisfied. This card sometimes comes up when we're surrounded by guilt, like we shouldn't be enjoying ourselves too much. Sometimes we tend to beat ourselves up and not allow ourselves the opportunity to enjoy the moment, enjoy the good times, because we feel like these good times are coming at the expense of other things, so that's a reminder that you deserve happiness, you deserve joy. And if you find yourself cutting yourself short because you feel guilty about feeling happy, this card is here to tell you no, happiness, joy are a part of life as much as grief and sorrow is, and one isn't better than the other. Give happiness the same value that you give to grief, right? Allow yourself to be happy and content. You deserve it. Nine of Cups speaks of that guilt struggle that I was mentioning, right? This is an exacerbated version of that. Like here, you're just, instead of feeling the emotional contentment, you're letting guilt decide how you should feel. Last but not least, 10 of Cups is a card of emotional, like I said, emotional fulfillment, but like a completion. It's the married couple on their 50th anniversary, right? Like they're emotionally content in a different way than, say, a couple that just got married, and they're emotionally content in a different way from a couple who's just celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary, right? Each of these stages in a marriage, in a relationship, in a partnership means that you have grown spiritually and emotionally in ways as one and as an individual, right? As one meaning as part of a partnership and as an individual. So 10 of Cups is the completion of yet another milestone, emotional and spiritual milestone. And it's a beautiful card to get in any relationship reading, and not just romantic relationship, but business and health. And it literally means that you have accomplished a major milestone. Reverse, this is emotional devastation, right? Instead of celebrating a milestone, you are now faced with a challenge, with an obstacle, and it's disheartening. Think of being in a partnership for 13 years and then all of a sudden it implodes. That's what this looks like, right? And now we move on to our court cards. Pages to me are children. So Page of Cups is a child that comes with news about their feelings, news about happiness, news about things that make them feel creative. They're the go-getting creative types, right? But they don't have a plan, so they need emotional guidance to make that plan come through fruition. Sorry, struggled a bit there. Knight of Cups is like the knight of shining armor. This is the person that's going to come into your life and woo you with sweet nothings. And you're gonna, you might get swept off your feet with Knight of Cups, right? Like you like what he's saying. By and by, it sounds really nice and harmless, but he might not be here for the long haul. So be careful about getting caught up in his words and the feelings that he gives you. Reverse, this dude definitely does not have good intentions for you, right? He's just there, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then he's out of there. So be careful with the Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups is an emotional, nurturing, affectionate female energy in your life, kind and caring, deep, unafraid to dive into her emotions and into her psyche, unafraid to confront the shadow side that she needs to do. She's emotionally confident and emotionally secure, and she wants to bring that feeling of emotional security to you. Reversed, she is an emotional manipulator, someone that will use your feelings against you, your deepest, darkest fears and secrets against you. If this isn't you or someone you know, it could just be a tendency to have those behaviors in your life and to be mindful about them. And last but not least, we have the King of Cups. This is, a loving, doting father figure, someone who is emotionally supportive of your hopes and dreams and aspirations, is always there to give you a hug or squeeze your arm and just, make you feel what you need to feel in that moment. Very in tuned with your feelings, that male energy, right? Unashamed to cry and embarrassed to cry. Probably again that Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy. So even if they're a male, they're going to have something maternal about them, right? Reverse, this is a person who withholds their emotion. They're cold, calculating, and they know how to play emotional and mental mind games with you. They know how to play with your feelings and play with your heart and tap into your deepest, darkest fears to make you feel like you are indebted to them in some way. This is not a good energy. So again, if there isn't a person in your life that reflects this, it could be just behaviors to be aware of. Thanks so much, friends, for exploring the Suit of Cups with me. The cups represent emotions, represents feelings, creativity, dreams, represented by the signs of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And I love doing these tarot tutorials with you. And looking forward to seeing you at the next one. Thanks so much, friends. Bye.